want to go ahead and make an assessment, and I'll kind of go from there?
Yep. Start off, I mean, that's always a really tough game to play, the one right before guys leave for Christmas break, and I commend my guys for not packing it in and wanting to be home, and that's something that this team has shown since June 1st when we all got here and started team workouts. We've had probably, in that time, we've had a lot of practices, and we've had very, very few, maybe on one hand, bad practices, and I think that's why this team is, even though our record is 3-7 right now, I think we're better than a 3-7 team, and I think we're gonna, as we move forward in the Big Sky play, I think we're gonna surprise some people, with just how hard we play, and I think we're starting to really understand how I want the ball to move, and then our pace, and I think our pace really caused UC Riverside some problems tonight. I know that they come from, coming from sea level, sometimes those teams, they struggle, and I thought probably, those stretches where we kind of opened it up in the first half and the second half, I thought, our pace eventually wore them down.
Do you feel like they were sucking air a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, I really did, and it's funny what the altitude will do, and I'm not sure, they got to the gym about 55 minutes before the game. They didn't come out until about the 25-minute mark for warm-ups, thinking that maybe they're going to save their legs. And so, being that, I've played at altitude, I've gone to Wyoming to play, it's funny sometimes what the altitude can do, and more so mentally to guys. But I thought our pace offensively really kind of forced them to probably get a little bit more tired or fatigued early on. And that's a team that, that's, even though they're 1-6, we've played the 15th hardest schedule in the country. They've played the 20th hardest schedule in the country. And Coach Cutts does a great job of getting those guys to play really hard. And that's the one thing that every team that they have played, they said, do not be surprised how hard they play. And the Montana coaches said the same thing, who was their last opponent, and it took them a while to adjust to that. And I thought that was the main thing coming out tonight, was making sure that we came out and threw the first proverbial punch. And I think our guys did that, even though we didn't make shots early. As the game went on, I thought that our mindset was right. Guys weren't ready to go home. And now at least we can enjoy Christmas dinner. Christmas dinner will taste a little bit better after a win.
Do you think they came out thinking, we're going to show these guys we can maintain this? And they came out running, gunning, pressing, pushing, intensive defense, and kind of told your guys, if you don't stay in it with us in this first half, you're going to be, chasing us.
Yeah,
and try to make a message in the first 12 minutes.
In terms of Riverside,
yeah,
and they're a team that they do struggle to score. I mean, they're in the bottom three. They're 348 in the country in its estimated field goal percentage. I mean, they're shooting 38% when you combine threes and twos. And so, with that being said, they know that they got to create offense through their defense, and that's where they really get up and pressure you. And us not really more so worrying about what they were going to do offensively, we worried more about them defensively, because they're a team that turns you over, and they're at their best offensively off of turnovers. And so we really talked about them reaching, trying to pressure out, and if we were strong with the ball, we knew we could get to the free throw line a number of times. Now, once we get to the free throw line, we got to do a better job of stepping up and making free throws. And I'm not a coach that sits there and doesn't address that. I mean, that's just something that you just got to go up there and do it, because when you got 17 turnovers, which we got to get better at. When you miss the front end of 1-and-1s, that's like a turnover too. So we have to do a better job on that front. And as a team moving forward, I thought we've made some great strides in the last couple of weeks defensively. Third opponent that we've held below 40% for field goal percentage. But as a team, for us to keep growing, we got to minimize the turnovers. We got to make more free throws, and if we do that, there's a lot of room for growth with this team. Which it's the fifth youngest team in the country, and Riverside was a team full of juniors and seniors.
Jeff, you had a 10-0 run right before the half that included 2 3-pointers, a monster jam from Scylla. Was there something right before that? And I don't have when you took your time out before that. Was there something right before that you said that kind of maybe got them off? I don't know. It may be a little strong, but got them off your team off the schneid at that point.
I think it was just us staying with the game plan of really wanting to pack it in and not letting those guys get to the rim. And, I just think at that point in time, especially without one of their starting point guards, I think, Malik Thames, who usually starts at the point for them, he didn't make the trip. And I know there was some,
What's his name?
Malik Thames. He's their starting point guard. He didn't make the trip, which I'm not quite sure, but I know that his father, I think, passed away, and so hopefully that he's doing okay back at home. And I know they do miss him, and that forced. That really shrunk their rotation down. Now Dikembe Martin, who usually comes off the bench, now he's starting, and they really don't have that fourth guard that they usually have when Thames is in the game, or that fifth guard. And I thought that really took a toll on them during those stretches, from that stretch that you mentioned in the first half where we made that run, and then the second half when we made that run. I think our depth overall really bothered them. And I thought, too, that with us moving forward and knowing how the Big Sky works on a Thursday, Saturday, JD's minutes, needed to drop a little bit. And, Tyler Luce did a great job of coming in 12 minutes, having 5 assists, 2 turnovers, and just doing what he does. He's a guy, a really smart kid. 4.0 student, always in the right spots. And he hasn't gotten a lot of minutes early, and I keep telling him just wait for your opportunity. Your opportunity is going to come. And I told him the other day, I've told you that 3 times, but it's coming. And he did a great job of taking advantage of that tonight.
You said depth, and I'm looking here. You got 30 points off the bench. You'd take 30 off the bench every night, won't you?
Yeah, and having DJ there with 22, that definitely helps the cause. And, DJ's a guy, if you probably would ask me 2 months ago, would he be playing 27 minutes, which I actually told him at one point in time until his weight got to a certain point, I wouldn't play him above 20 minutes. But, DJ struggled early. He had a concussion that basically made him miss a month of our preseason work. So it took him a little while to get adjusted, and for most junior college players, it takes a semester to get adjusted. And I think he's really helped us the last 3 weeks, giving us that other score, that third score, and a guy that, when we play smaller, can really stretch the floor and open the floor up for JD.
He talked earlier that he does a lot of time with visualization when he's not playing, and that's what keeps him from lagging behind, just knowing what he should be doing if he was out there, and keeps that kind of in a little spot in his mind.
Well, whatever he's doing that's going to allow him to shoot the ball like he has, I hope he keeps doing that. And, like I said, he's a guy that we can play at the 3, more traditional. When we played Jonte, and now that Jared's starting to get his legs back. And, Jared, is a guy that played really well for us early in our our private scrimmage with the School of Mines, and then our exhibition game, and he tears his meniscus. And he's such a competitive kid, and he wants to be out there more. But I told him, you're not going to be at 100% until we probably get to January, and so don't get Jared Davis, and so don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated by it. Just stay the course, and you're going to help us win some games once you get to Big Sky play. But I thought the bench did a great job tonight. Kai Edwards had 9. He had 9 rebounds in 19 minutes. That's 18 over basically the course of 40.
Right. This is the first story we're doing over the holidays. You got guys that everybody splits and goes their ways tonight. And some coaches I've seen will schedule a practice the day after the final game just to let kids know. But anyway, you got guys going everywhere. But 2 of your foreign guys are going to Pueblo.
Yeah,
and Christmas. Only Roberto is going across the dang ocean. Do you how much do you have to, or do you get involved with making sure these guys, get where they're going?
Yeah, and my assistants do a great job of organizing that. And in the case of Roberto, he came to us, being also another 4.0 student. And basically those guys came to us about a month ago. Roberto did, and said, hey, listen, there's a cheap flight that I can get out with. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And a lot of the European kids, they're used to long flights. They're used to that travel. And Kai and Kyle, they couldn't find a flight that worked for them. And luckily for them, they got great teammates that are going to take care of them, and they won't be spending Christmas alone.
I know, but spending. And they're used to it in a way because basketball runs through Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there is no such thing as holidays when you're a basketball coach or player.
Right, but not spending it with family sometimes can, they can suck.
Yeah, and those guys, and that's Kai. Kai's been away from his family when he was at the Canary Island. Those guys, even though they would like to be at home, they also understand the sacrifice they have to make when they come over here. And and they'll get back, and we're pretty good about when the summertime comes, allowing those guys to get back home for an extended period of time, especially those guys that are going to be playing with their national teams. But as their family back there, we're their extended family here, and we'll make sure that they're taken care of.
I understand the Davis family took care of all you at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was a top 5 meal right there that they cooked at their house, and as I mentioned, all these guys we actually
Where I come from, we call that a lot of gabagool.
Yeah, that's a lot of yeah. There's no question. There's a lot of that, and we made sure that before these guys left that we checked all their weights. So got to make sure that a couple of these guys who can put on weight quickly, they don't, and then some of these other guys just making sure that they're still working out. But it's going to be a good it's going to be a good break though. Jordan Davis, he needs a little bit of rest, and he's going to spend some time with his newborn baby daughter, which will be great for him to get refreshed. And I'm just looking forward to getting these guys back sooner than later on December 26th and get ready for Big Sky play at Sac State.
You weigh him in when they come back?
We will weigh him.
He's like a wrestling coach.
There's no question. So hopefully a couple of these guys just watch their calories while they're eating at home.
All right. Thank
Thank you, sir. Happy holidays.
Yeah, you also.